On the Road with Kelly and Bob is brought to you by Mueller Metal Roofs and Buildings. Made in America, made to last. Coming up on this episode...
It's not like on any normal restaurant. People plan their trips around coming here.
Hi, we're Kelly.
And Bob Phillips, and we're on the perpetual road trip of America's backroads.
Where the people are real.
The stories are rich.
And the journey is always the destination. Hi, and thanks for joining us on this edition of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. I'm Kelly Phillips.
And I'm Bob Phillips. If you've ever traveled with us on this program before, you no doubt have heard us talk about Route 66. Mm-hmm. Well, today we will add yet another chapter to that ongoing story.
This one takes us to a little town called Tucumcari, New Mexico.
Route 66, the Mother Road. On the surface, and by the way, that surface was made up of a lot of different materials, from dirt to gravel to asphalt to brick or concrete. It is just a U.S. highway that started in Chicago and stretched all the way to Los Angeles.
But Route 66 is so much more than just a road, no matter what that road was made from. Yes, it was designated by the federal government as an official highway that could take you from the upper Midwest to the California coast. But even that was done for a much greater purpose than simple ease of travel.
When you put it all in perspective and think back to how this nation began with the original 13 colonies that would one day become 50 states, well, exactly how is it that the population of our country spread from the Atlantic to the Pacific? Well, it took some encouragement to get people to cast their fates to the wind and move. It happened after the Louisiana Purchase, after the Lewis and Clark expedition, after the acquisition of Alaska. In each case, people were given, incentives to go west, eventually expanding our country from coast to coast.
And it happened with Route 66. In this case, it was more a sense of adventure that was attached to the road than anything else. But there was also hope for a better life, especially after the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, and World War II came along, shortly after Route 66 officially opened in 1926.
That sense of adventure and hope for a better life still exists today, though the meaning of each of those things has slightly changed over the years. Today, that better life might be something as simple as a desire to return to a different time, a different pace, a different set of priorities. That's something Chase Waters knows all too well.
I was born in Amarillo, Texas. I lived there for a very short period of time, and I was 2 months old whenever my mom moved here to Tucumcari, where she was originally from. A little bit further back on a little backstory, her father owned a gas station here in Tucumcari called Adcock 66 service station. We have some Wintel stuff in a glass case here at the restaurant with a bunch of stuff from the station. We have a pickup truck of my grandfather's. It's a F100 unibody 63 that was always there at that station. That we have it across the street at our station right now. It's inside, but we have quite a few people that will come in and they'll recognize that truck from being down there, and that's a pretty cool thing. Grew up here in Tucumcari, New Mexico. My mother was a school teacher, so I was always involved with whatever was going on there at the school.
Couldn't get away with anything either, could you?
No.
Because all the teachers knew your mom.
Back whenever I was in school, before I got from the middle school or high school back to the elementary school, she had already gotten an email of whatever I had done or not done, and so she already knew about it.
Chase Waters was one of those kids who couldn't get away with anything. Not that he particularly wanted to, but if he had, well, that just wasn't going to happen. Not in a town the size of Tucumcari, where your mother teaches all your friends and knows everyone in town. No, Chase was destined to grow up and be a good kid.
Halfway between Amarillo and Albuquerque, Tucumcari claimed itself to be a logical stopping point on Route 66 not long after the road was established. Shops, hotels, and restaurants sprang up along the route, and the town fully embraced its role as a Route 66 mainstay. Long after the road was officially decommissioned, 66 still plays its part here in this town. Chase Waters even went to work at one of the famed Route 66 roadside diners.
In my high school years, I wound up working here at Ells whenever I was 14. My first job here was a host and busser, and I looked around at the servers and was like, I would go crazy if I ran around like they do, and I would never be able to do that. And Renee, one of our servers that's been here forever, finally talked me into becoming a server, and she trained me to be a server. That was almost 20 years ago now. Loved that. I left the restaurant world for about a year after I graduated high school and hated it. Special kind of crazy person to love the restaurant world, I think.
After high school, Chase tried other jobs. He clerked at a hotel and installed shutters and blinds for his cousin. But the restaurant world kept calling his name. So he spent a few years getting experience at established eateries, then formulated a plan.
Remember that longtime waitress in Tucumcari that trained him? Chase would see her again.
Whenever I went back to the restaurant world, I spent time between Darden and Brinker, so Olive Garden, Cheddar's, and Chili's for about 10 years. Learned a lot of what to do and a lot of what not to do. That was a great experience. Whenever I was here as a high schooler, I definitely wouldn't be where I am at today if it wasn't for the owners of Dale's restaurant. They taught me a lot about any business aspect, really. So Dale built the restaurant in '56, operated it for about 10 and 15 years or so, and then sold it to his secretary, Jessica Brazil. And Yvette and Yvonne are Jessica's daughters, so she passed it on to them. Then I bought it in 2021. It was always my dream to own a restaurant.
You got it. Chase left Tucumcari, got a lot of good experience in the restaurant business, then returned to become the new owner of the same place he worked in high school. A dream come true for some, possibly an awkward situation for others.
You bet. But what about Renee, that longtime server who trained Chase when he was just a kid? How did she feel about now working for her understudy?
You started working here in high school. Renee, who's been here more than 30 years, trained you way back then. You come back as the owner. How did that play out?
She was excited about it. 33 years is how long she's been working here at Dell's. We have quite a few long-time employees. I have a cook that's been 21 years, dishwasher for 21 years as well. I have a lady that's now a cashier. She was a server. She's been here right around 30 years as well. Her mother was a cashier here whenever I was a server. Whenever I purchased the restaurant, everybody was asking me, what are you going to change about the menu? I added a few dishes, but we didn't change anything on recipes or anything like that. The old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's what I tried to go by. And it's worked so far. Chicken fried steak is what we're known for on the American side. We have a new menu item called Mama Martha's Meatloaf, which Mama Martha's my mother. On our breakfast side, our handheld on-the-run burritos are very popular. That's one of my favorite and go-tos as well. That and the chili rellenos and eggs.
Chase Waters grew up here in Tucumcari, left for a while, then came home, where he says he belongs. He's now in charge of not just a restaurant, but an American icon, a roadside attraction and a piece of our country's history, Dell's Diner on Route 66.
He says he plans to keep on doing what's worked until the day comes when he can't do it anymore. And even then, Chase has a succession plan.
We're not going to be changing anytime soon. My son, Aiden, is 4 years old, and he loves coming down here, and he thinks he's working. He'll try and host and take somebody to the table, and he kind of gets sidetracked by X, Y, and Z. But fingers crossed, he'll wind up taking over the restaurant. So I know that he'll keep it the same. If not him, I got a daughter on the way. Maybe she'll want to do it.
If you haven't been to Tucumcari, New Mexico, and you like things and places that take you back to an earlier time, make you slow down a bit and take it all in, then you should go.
Yep. And Dell's is by no means the only place in this town worth visiting. There are quite a few. There are a couple of mid-century motels, like, the Blue Swallow's one of our favorites, that still have that 40s and 50s feel with all the neon lights and everything done in the style of that day. We asked Chase to tell us more about Dell's, how it came to be, about Tucumcari, New Mexico, and about why he loves it all so much.
Dell's was technically the second restaurant that Dell operated. The first one doesn't exist anymore. It was a real small diner west of town, or on the west side of town. He'd been throwing around the idea with his wife of building a bigger restaurant and opening it up and trying to find the right location and whatnot for it, and they finally found this location. And whenever you walk into our building, you'll notice the flag stamp floors. They were in a restaurant in Santa Fe, and she said, okay, if you're going to build a restaurant, these are the floors that are going to go in it, or I'm not going to have anything to do with it. And so he said, yes, dear. Whenever he built the restaurant, they put in these floors, all original.
What would he think of what you're doing now?
After I put the bar in, a daughter that said that there weren't any pictures to be had about the bar, she went in and looked at it, and she said Dell would approve. He would love it. It's in the same place that he had it. Things are different about it, but it's exactly how he would want it. So that makes me feel good about it. Knowing that the original owner would be happy about X, Y, and Z that you do it makes you feel good.
You're carrying on somebody else's
Legacy.
tradition. It was their dream at one
Right.
time.
Right.
And then it became yours.
It's a lot of weight on the shoulder.
Especially being here on the route, because you can't get away with a lot of things. You've got to stay true to Route 66, don't you?
Stay true, and my number one word is consistency. With both what we give our guests as far as absolutely anything in the front of house, and I stamp that in my employees' brains too, of consistency and presentation. Those are the two.
What was it about the restaurant business that called to you?
Interacting with different people all the time. I'm a huge talker, come to find out. Kind of like my mother. I don't talk as much with my hands as she does. So here, especially at Dell's, we have so many foreigners come through that it's really cool to learn about their trip and things in their country. And
they're traveling Route 66.
Route 66. There's Route 66 Facebook pages for Italy, Germany.
Yeah,
It's amazing to look at that and talk to all those people that come here, especially for Route 66 to travel that. So.
Is the road more famous there, you think, than it is here in our own country?
In some ways, yeah, absolutely. I do believe that is very true. Whenever I was a kid, I never, realized how special Route 66 was until I got older. And a lot of people that live here, I don't realize it as well.
What's it like being back in Tucumcari?
It's good to be home. I do the same thing here that I did anywhere else. I got up, went to work, go home, go to bed. That's what I do here. Sometimes
the life of a restaurateur.
It is, yeah. Sometimes I need a cot here in the back of the kitchen or something, I feel like, but it's okay. It does take a lot of hours and a lot of hard work to keep the consistency and everything that I mentioned earlier, but it's all worth it whenever you see people leaving. They're not in the same mood as they were whenever they came in, getting off the road, being hangry. They're in a happy mood. Last night I had someone come in, they said they've been on the road 26 days and they were ready for a good home-cooked meal and they finally found it. So that felt really good. We have people, I was catching some people out a little while back that are from Lubbock, Texas, 3 hours away from here. I asked them where they were headed, and they said, oh, back home. I said, oh, well, where did you go? Oh, we came here. We came here for dinner.
So Dell's is a destination.
Right.
They came all the way from Lubbock, 3 hours away.
3 hour drive.
Had dinner, and then turned around and went back
Yep.
another 3 hours home.
Yes, they did.
That has got to feel good, Chase.
It does. It does.
Do you have folks from Tucumcari that come here?
We do. We have a large amount of regulars that come dine with us on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis. I have one gentleman that's here every day, if not breakfast, lunch, or dinner. There's some people that come in on a regular basis that I served back in high school here, and they still come back to this day now that I own it. So that's kind of nice.
And now they have kids, or their kids have kids, and you're seeing that as well?
I'm hiring some of their kids.
Tell us about Tucumcari in general.
I would consider it a scenic town. A lot of people that have come and stayed in Tucumcari, if they have the time to be able to do it, they wind up booking another night stay just to be able to see everything that there is to see. A lot of people don't realize what all there is around here to see. The past 10 years or so, we became the city of murals. A artist, Doug Quarles, started that off with painting murals all over the town.
Are you one of those owners that's your hands on them? Are you out back in the kitchen cooking sometimes, or do you
back cooking, washing dishes? Mostly every night that we're busy and we're on a wait, you'll see me out front bussing tables or hosting. Occasionally, I'll wind up serving tables. I try not to do that because I have so much going on that I'm supposed to be getting ranch or chips for a table, and I'll completely forget about it. So I try not to serve tables. I'll start them off and get them their drinks and pass them off to a server.
You're not in server mode. You're in owner mode, overseeing it all.
One thing that I do enjoy doing, we added a bar top back here. Dell originally had it whenever he first built the building. I enjoy going back there and bartending and talking with guests at the bar top.
You're a people person, aren't you?
I am. Extrovert for sure, and a people person. He built that bar whenever he first built the restaurant, and his daughter was in here one day, and before I built the bar, I went up to her and I said, "Hey, are there any pictures of old bar? I'd like to try and replicate it." She laughed and said, "No, there won't be any pictures." I said, "Oh, okay." She went on to tell me a story that neither Dell nor his wife were drinkers at all. Every Wednesday night they had a group of ladies that came in after bowling or something that would get a little too rowdy, and I guess drove him nuts to the point where one Wednesday night he didn't show up at home in time for dinner like he usually did. They called down here to the restaurant, and all they heard in the background was a bunch of hammering because he was disassembling that bar piece by piece, throwing it out the side door there in the middle room.
He'd had enough of it?
He'd had enough of it. He said, "Forget it. It's not worth it."
So the Wednesday night ladies group,
I guess they
got
went
a little rowdy.
They got a little rowdy.
But you brought it back.
But I brought it back. We had a lot of people that wanted to sit at the bar top whenever they came through, which I'm the same way. If I'm traveling by myself anyway, if there's a bar top, I'm going to sit at it. From the old nostalgic part of it and whatnot, I decided, you know what, let's put it in, make it look kind of old-timey in there, and showcase some New Mexico things. So we draft beer that we added on, and then we added on to our license a liquor license that allows us to purchase only New Mexico spirits. So every mixed drink that you get here is real liquor, but only made in New Mexico. All of our draft beer is New Mexico draft. We have a good selection of New Mexico wines as well.
There's a lot of pride in that, I'll bet.
There is.
What is it about Route 66? What is it that captured people's hearts and souls and made them want to travel this road and even
have
to
businesses.
today?
Today it's slowing down and actually taking in what's around you. I hear people time and time again, in the way the world is these days, you got to it's hurry, hurry, hurry anywhere. And especially right after I bought the place, there was a lot of younger people traveling Route 66, people that were fresh out of high school into their mid-30s traveling it. And they said, we just never had the time to travel and take our time doing anything, so we wanted to see, what some of the things or places that their parents or grandparents saw and traveled and did. I think it's just being able to slow down and take in what's all around you.
It sounds like it's partly just returning to a simpler time.
Yes, you worded that.
Maybe
absolutely
longing
perfect.
for that.
I think a lot of people do kind of long for that. Simpler, slower, being able to soak things in, whether it be the now or in the past of how things were.
Are you guys a family here at Dell's Diner?
100%. I mentioned earlier businesses in New Mexico and on Route 66. I said that we're all a family here. Mainly Renee will tell you that we are a family here. But no, all my employees would say that. We fight like a family and we get over it like a family. I couldn't ask for anything different. We'll get upset because a certain ticket time is running too long, but by the end of the night we're joking around and happy to be here with the people that we work with.
Just another stop on Route 66. Don't forget, next year is the 100th anniversary of Route 66. So many great stops on there. Thanks so much for joining us for this week's edition of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. New episodes drop every week. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, or the best thing, just download that free Odyssey app. Listen anytime, anywhere.